Danny Brown just dropped his long-awaited newest album, Quaranta. Let's talk about it.
Written down when I bought it stacked out. A big chain notice and a franked out. I caught a street built new condos. Talk about 3Gs for a 2-bedroom.
Well, to start off, the meaning of the word Quaranta is 40 in Italian. This is extremely relevant because Danny Brown made this album while he was 40 years old. He is now 42, but I think because of some label disputes, he wasn't able to release the album upon finishing it immediately. But basically, the entire theme of this album is Danny Brown coming to terms with his relationship with rap music. In fact, Danny Brown starts the album on this intro track, Quaranta, saying that rap music saved his life, but it also ruined it. This album is Danny Brown looking back on his successful career and trying to come to terms with it. He is now 42 years old and still making music, relevant music might I add, because this is a really, really good album. Danny Brown isn't his characteristic jokey self as much on this album, he's much more serious. Here's the catchphrase: he went from wildin' out to wising up. That's gotta be like the corniest thing I've ever said on this TikTok page. But yeah, I don't know. I obviously am not as old as Danny Brown is, but I imagine it feels similar to when I think about my high school days and it feels like it was just yesterday. I remember it like it was just yesterday, but then you kind of realize that a lot of time has passed. And you kind of just downward spiral into this self-analysis, like, what have I done with my time since then? Have I used my time well? What have I learned? Where has the time gone? And Danny Brown kind of talks about those feelings here on this album. It is a self-reflection. And it's really cool. The production also isn't as dark as we're used to hearing. And I'm happy personally as a Danny Brown fan because this is a really, really good album. And Danny Brown sounds like the most emotionally stable that I've ever heard him in his career. Obviously, the title track is a big standout on the album. I also think that Dark Sword Angel is probably Danny's best rapping performance on the album. And Down With It straight up is a vibe, bro. Like I said, he isn't like overproducing this album. There isn't like the shock factor on this album at all. This track is just a laid back, chill track. And same with this one, the last track on the album, Bass Jam. I feel like it's a perfect conclusion to the album because it kind of just has like this stabling presence, and I think that it is very reflective as to how Danny feels at this moment. Anyway, as always, I've added my favorite tracks off the album to my New Music Friday playlist, which you can find the link to my Spotify in my bio. I update this playlist every single week with my favorite releases, that way you don't miss anything. And please let me know below in the comments, what do you think of Danny Brown's Quaranta? I'm Honeybee Reviews, and don't forget to follow me for more music related content.